Hey TMB, this is Egan. I'm going to be talking about your map XMA5. It's an arena map. So it's pretty flat. I'm playing by myself. I haven't even played A5 yet. I played A4 and I think A3 for a round or two as well. So I know generally what it plays like. You added this building in the middle. You said you fixed the water, and the building in the middle does cut the water in half so that at least sections off the map a little bit more than what it was before. And it looks like you're starting to detail, and it looks decent. I think this is one of your first maps. It looks good generally for a first map. You might want to have some sort of detail actually at the side of the map. Like, it looks like this is going to continue off somewhere, but how are you going to section off the map from the detail? Are you going to have a giant wall across here? Like, it might be decent of an idea to consider having something there, not only just because, you know, it adds a place for splash damage to hit off of. Like, say I'm a soldier and I want to hit the guy here, I could hit him with splash damage right here. Because if this is going to be like just an open, if it's going to be like a cliff, that might make sense. But even then, maybe have a death pit or something. I'm not sure. I'm just saying, you know, it might be a good idea to have something there. Something that kind of confused me was when I saw this capture point base, I thought this orange thing was the outline of the capture point trigger, but if you turn on the triggers, you can see that it's actually around the entire section. That's not a super critically bad thing, but it might just be cool to have it only on this orange section, just so maybe a spy could decloak right where I'm standing and then go in and attack someone. You know, just, it's not a, you could keep it how it is. I'm just saying it might be cool to do that. So a big problem it's been a big problem for a long time and you haven't fixed it yet is sightlines on this map. So this is where you spawn. You can go left, and then you can just see the enemy spawn door exits, like right across the entire map. And then if you go forward, then you're pretty much in the exact same position because you have to throw yourself in front of the enemy. So you should absolutely try to block off. Here I did a monitor capture. Okay, so here is the sightlines that I noticed on the map. You might have to like zoom in or full screen this on your screen, but you can see here, if I do 25, that this sightline right across the middle is the one that we're looking at now. That's a big, all these are sightlines I drew. I think the critical ones you'll need to fix. So somehow block the sightline through mid, somehow block the sightline above the top of mid from like sniper deck to sniper deck, and then somehow block the sniper deck to the other alternative forward spawn exit. So what you could do here, I'll just zoom in a little bit just so I can like draw on here. I'll also go to like 10 size brush. So I would consider just having like some sort of wall here up on top of the sniper deck, have some sort of thing on top of the middle building, and of course that other wall and the other sniper deck. It doesn't have to be this big. I'm just saying that it would block off that sightline. Sure, it's still, the sightline still exists from there to there, but then here is a lot weaker of a sniper position than up here where you just have a lot of room to just hide behind the edge of the balcony. Now you have to like precariously stand on top of like a ledge above the capture point. So these three locations, and then, you know, this would be an actual building topper, I don't know, like a shrine top, I don't know. And then the one through mid, an easy solution is just to take this building here that you have and flip it 90 degrees. 90 degrees. So this door would be closed off, and then you'd have a door on the side and then a door on the other side as well. So you could just go through here across mid instead. Here, actually, that doesn't look too bad. But yeah, so block this one, block this one, block this one, and then just take this middle building and like rotate the entire thing 90 degrees. I think that'll work enough. Okay, so that talks about sightlines. So routes. I thought about, so gameplay on the map is a little bit simplistic. If even if this was like blocked off and this was blocked off, it's kind of small and there aren't too many routes. Like the only way across mid, like the only way, like I can see completely across the width of mid, and the only way across mid is through the water or through here. I guess saying that out loud is not too bad, but it feels a little bit like you could fully experience the map in only a round or two. It is nice that you have kind of these background areas. I hate saying kinda out loud, but I guess it does feel like it's a little bit simplistic at the moment, and that's not too bad. There are several arena maps that are really crazy simplistic, like Watchtower or Ravine. You know, those are pretty simple arena maps, but it might be good just to add a little bit more complexity. So here, if we go back to my paint, I thought about having this, a big wall across the surface of the water. So if you were a player, when you approach, this whole thing is like blocked off, and you couldn't like shoot across. Like it'd be a solid wall, you know. But this would still be open, possibly through here, and then of course you'd be able to like go through the middle now that this door is right here instead. Oh, and by the way about that door, if the door existed there, you shouldn't be able to stand on the point and see the enemy point through those two doors. I guess it's at enough at an angle that you probably shouldn't, but if you do see the point from this point through these doors, then just shrink the width of the doors so that that can't happen. You know, you want to try to limit sightlines. A thing that is good to keep in mind about sightlines is that there should always be an alternative route to take out the sniper. You know, say I'm standing here as a sniper and I'm looking at all the entrances that someone can take up to me. That's bad. You know, like if I'm a really pro sniper, I could just stand here and there's no way that the enemy can even try to take me out because I cover all entrances over to me. So number one, before I go quite into covering how to solve that, I just wanted to say it would be kind of cool to add some complexity here to mid, where you put this wall above just the surface of the water, so someone who comes across here has to like jump into the water, swim underneath this wall, and then come up on the other side. And then you can come up on the other side at like any of these positions, which would be crazy to come up like right next to, you know, this capture point right here. That could be kind of cool. Second part of this, it would be kind of cool to connect the water route here over to the areas in front of spawn, so that there is, this would be how you counter the sniper who's standing up on top of the sniper balcony. I mean, the wall that we talked about earlier would be blocking off this sniper location on these doors at least, but like there should be another way to counter him. So imagine that surface wall is here. You could have someone come through here, jump into the pool of water, swim underneath the surface wall, and then go through like a new tunnel that you add in through here, and it comes out around here-ish. So here I drew what that might look like. So this just here is like you'd come out of spawn. This would of course be blocked off, as we mentioned earlier. Why did that skew? So this would be blocked off, and then you'd have the wall across here, and then you'd have the wall up across here. And so if there was a sniper here, I'll do it in pink. If there was a sniper guy standing up on top of here, and his vision goes across like this, you could completely take him out. Here, I'll do it in orange. You could completely take it out by going in through here, swimming underneath that little thing, still in the water, and then swim just underneath through here, jump out of the water, and then take the back route to kill him. That should be quick enough that you could still do that. So having some sort of route that goes from this green section here and connects to the water route just right there, because these water routes are they're blocked off in the center, and that's fine to have that blocked off in the center, but I think if there was a way to connect here, swim underneath the surface wall, maybe even like take a breath for air, but then just like swim across over to here. Also, you might not need to do it, but this back area is a bit powerful too. Like, standing here, I can see the entire surface of... I mean, maybe with all the sightline blockers, this would also be solved as an area. So maybe for like A6, the changes I've mentioned will be enough of a difference. But if you do find that the sniper area up here is still too powerful, you could consider completely removing this ramp and just connecting that section there right up to here with like a wall. Maybe even removing the balcony too. I don't know if you'd need to do that. I'm just saying that, you know, because the route over here already exists to get up onto the sniper balcony, you wouldn't necessarily need to have like a big second one. For the time being, it's fine if you keep that. I'm just saying. Okay, so that I think that's all I said. There's the cap points, right? There's the cap points, the sniper deck, the rest of the sight lines, right? So if you do the thing where you kind of either put a wall here or put a drop off with a death pit behind here, I don't know, it depends on what you want to do. Just somehow continue the map a little bit, just so that you have a plan for the future of what you're going to do with the edge of the map. Here, I'll take the monitor capture off. And then, so you do the edge of the map, you do the cap points maybe, like we did show triggers toggle, and that'll show you the size of the capture point. If you limit it just to the orange thing, that could be kind of cool. If you limit the sight lines that we mentioned earlier, I'll bring those up again, like the one on the sniper deck, the one across mid, maybe flipping the whole 90-degree building, and then the one across here too, and then maybe adding some more complexity to the map, like this surface water thing and the route that goes from beneath the surface water thing up to behind here, so people can take out the sniper who's standing up on top of here. I think that could be kind of cool. I haven't played A5 yet, so I don't know if this is totally necessary. At least the sightline blockers are. These are just some ideas. You don't have to use them, but you know, maybe it's cool. So if this is your first map, it's not that bad for a first map. I've definitely seen worse. Oh, and also there's a command that you can use, BSP repack, and you can see usage BSP repack map.bsp and output map.bsp. So if you do BSP repack and then maps slash like arena, what is this map called? XM a5.bsp, and then you just copy that. Anyway, you do this command, BSP repack maps slash arena xm a5.bsp, maps slash arena xm a5.bsp, or you could just Google search BSP underscore repack with like TF2 maps, and you'll probably find the link anyway. Alright, I can link it in my post too. Here, I'll disconnect before I do this, but you can see if I turn on monitor capture again, in my maps folder, arena xm, it's 18 megabytes, and that's because if I have it here, you have all these Sky Hurricane, which is like the custom skybox materials, but that adds up to, you can see here, 16 megabytes, which is a lot for every, like, this is a pretty simple arena map, so having to download 16 megabytes of the same you know, sky texture over and over and over again, it's a little bit expensive. Not too bad, but it's a little bit, you know, it adds up. Like if you did like, you know, 16 times, let's say 8 versions, that's 128 megabytes already that we've had to download. Anyway, so if you just, here I've just zipped the files into a .zip, and it's only 2 megabytes instead of 16. So if you use the BSP repack command, here I'll do that, it'll repack it. That's one of the new commands that they added, which is like it just zips up the map inside of the BSP, and it'll still function as a regular BSP. So you do that. I don't know how long it'll take. Probably no longer than a minute. And it'll seriously, yeah, there you go. Now it's done. And we go check arena XM A5. It's 2.4 megabytes. So we saw that the skybox zipped up was 2 megabytes, and so now the entire map is 2.5 megabytes. So try out the BSP repack command for each new version, just so you can save some space on the BSP. So instead of being 15 or 16 megabytes, it's 2.5 megabytes. It's faster to download, easier for everyone to log in and play the game. It's not that bad as 16 megabytes, but like it's a good thing to keep in mind, I guess. Okay, see ya.